Facebook.
Go live on Facebook. Go live here on radio. Right now.
Where is... Come on. There it is.
Where's my...
Oh, I gotta turn my music down too. Before something rings and makes noises here.
Before things ring and make noise. Because it is 11 a.m. and that means it's time on a Thursday at 11 for My LoSo Lifestyle with Mary Shep. Mary, good morning, and I hope you've had a great week since last week. I know that everybody is ready and looking forward to hanging out with you for an hour today. What's up? Do you want to catch us up on last week a little bit, or...
I think last week we were talking about comfort food.
We were.
We need something to comfort us in this time because it's not a comforting time.
No.
we need some comforting, I think, a little bit. It's kind of nuts right now. I don't even know where to begin. And it's funny because thinking about what I was going to do for today's show, and all I could think about for the last 3 days is this zombie apocalypse. So that's what it became, is the zombie apocalypse is my show. So that's what we're sticking with. Because, I don't even know what to call it. And as much as I keep telling myself, like, I don't want to talk about Corona on my show. It's kind of our life now, I think. If, seems that way anyway.
Well, I think that it is life. This is life right now. We're all doing it. This is just real life at the moment. This is just where we're at. So
yeah, and it's difficult because, so for me, for anybody that hasn't watched my show before, you should have been, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
But for those of you that haven't, I have advanced cirrhosis of the liver. And as of, it'll be a year this coming week, the week of the 15th or 16th, something like that, right around that time frame, is when my immune system decided to eat a hole in my spine. So it's called transverse myelitis, and it sucks. And so I'm essentially that immuno at-risk person, because fear of getting sick has been a problem for me since 2015. So this whole Corona thing isn't as terrifying to me as it probably should be, because anything that flares up my immune system, when it was just my liver, it's a fear of what medications can I or can I not take. I can't just go to the doctor and get loaded up on a bunch of medications, because anything that metabolizes through my liver is an issue. Mm-hmm. So that's problematic in itself. Not only that, it takes me longer to heal. So it's not necessarily being immunocompromised, but if your body can't fight things off as fast, it's almost the same thing. And then with my transverse myelitis, the lesion on my spine, that literally is your immune system eats a hole in something it's not supposed to and screws you up.
Yeah.
So that one's more terrifying simply because of the fact that nobody knows crap about it. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I had a doctor run down the hallway after me and say, by the way, if we're going to treat it as this, let's start you on this baby aspirin. And I stood there looking at him like,
baby aspirin?
Because it's a whole clotting thing, whatever. It's like people with heart issues and stroke risk take aspirin for, so they don't have one.
Right.
I won't take any medication, period. But, it's like my immune system has multiple personalities. On one hand, because I don't drink or smoke and I eat fantastic, I don't get sick. But on the other hand, if something pisses my immune system off, it eats a hole in my spine.
Yeah.
So I really should be more terrified of all of this than I am, and I'm not. That being said, the watching the public makes my brain hurt.
I've been enjoying it, actually.
I mean, on one hand,
I've been
it's
laughing
humorous.
so much.
I mean, it really is. But some of the things are just absolutely like the milkhead.
Yeah, just driving down, driving home, and I did a triple take because there was a person wearing a gallon milk jug over their head with the bottom had been cut out. They shoved it on their head. They had eye holes cut out, and it didn't look like there was a cap on the top or the little, you usually have the cap on your gallon milk jug over on top. And they're just walking along like, hey, it ain't no thing. I've got my milk jug mask with nothing sealing it at the bottom,
right?
Hole in the top, eye holes in there. They're just walking along like, hey, this is just another day in my life.
And the funny thing is in your brain you're going, so that looks like something a bunch of 6-year-olds would do in an alleyway in the city streets because they had nothing better to do in the 50s, and now they're playing space people.
Yeah.
Because it's about so a friend of mine, Christine, from Restoration One, she does these tips, and she did this tip on how to wear gloves properly, and she had suggested wearing one glove. So you've got a dirty hand and a clean hand, and I freaking love that. 2 reasons. One, because it's awesome, and I personally, without gloves, do the same thing. When I'm shopping, I have one hand that's dirty, and I have one hand that's clean. It touches my belongings, myself, my person, my purse, my everything. And I have, I'm lucky enough that I have a personal hand sanitizer bottle attached to my purse. It's hanging right off the thing right there.
Mm-hmm. My wife has the same kind of thing.
Right. So
I keep one in my jacket pocket all the time.
But the same concept. If you wear a glove on one hand and that's your dirty hand, that's the thing you touch all the public bits with that everybody else has touched. And then when you're done,
be careful touching public bits.
Be careful what public bits you decide to touch. I mean, I know it's a crazy time right now, but it was a great little video, and there's millions of them. And it's funny because you start seeing all of these different professionals from medical industries and hazmat, cleanup, and restoration industries that are doing these types of info tips because of that reason. They're just seeing this mass majority of people who are, I mean, come on, you gotta think this through and say, okay, if I have gloves on and I put them on in my car, so they came out of a pocket or a glove box or something in my car. I don't have, unless you have a box of gloves that you can take a fresh pair and a little garbage can in your car. Mm-hmm. But they take them, and so they put them on. So now anything they've touched in their vehicle, door handle, or whatever, their purse, now their gloves are now contaminated with whatever they've touched.
Yeah.
They go through the store, and every day I see this. They touch everything. And most of them have a mask. They put the mask, almost every single day I see someone take it off the top of their head, in their hair,
which your hair gathers anything and
with
everything.
Their gloves that have touched everything. They come through my store, and then they take the mask off. This literally before because I have automatic doors, before they even leave the store, take the mask off with the same gloves that they just touched all the product in my store with, my shopping carts, it doesn't matter how clean. I don't care if I have UV lights in the ceilings to sanitize my building for 24 hours.
Right.
So they touch everything, but then this sense of security, so they take it out, the mask off their face or put it over their throat, and they take the gloves off and put them in their pockets. Or worse, they leave the gloves on, they go out to their vehicle, get in their car, put all the stuff in their car, touch their steering wheel, drive to the next store, and then get out of the car and put the gloves and the mask and everything back and do this routine over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So just watching, I mean, the milk jug guy, those ones.
I love that so much.
The rest of everybody, it's like this false sense of security because they just don't know, and they don't think about it. They don't think it through. And that's the thing, is people should be thinking it through.
Yeah.
But watching what people do is just, some of the things that people choose, and I'm not even saying things that I've seen in memes on Facebook, because that's just, some of that shit's got to be staged.
You would think. I really hope people are not walking around with plastic bags on their head.
Oh, I'm sure they are. The guy in the wheelchair or whatever, that meme that had the whole big jewel bag or whatever taped over his head.
Yeah. My favorite one was the silver spacesuit guy with the helmet visor up. Right. Wearing the entire outfit, even sneakers, silver, all the way up. But and had the helmet on, but the visor was up. So it's not even doing what it should
Right.
do. If indeed it's going to block anything, you need that visor down.
And that's it's so that's the thing is it's
Did you see the one of the guy walking around with his full scuba gear on?
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's got a little paper towel tucked at
Yeah.
the top of his scuba hose.
Like, you gotta breathe.
I hate to make fun or make light of other people who are, because I will wholeheartedly always encourage people to do what makes you feel safe and healthy.
Exactly. And that's what they're doing. I get that. I
great.
Understand it. But it brings me so much joy to watch.
I know. And
it makes me laugh so
people
much.
watch, it just does. It makes the things that people choose to do is just mind-boggling. I try so hard to be the one that steps out and tries to view things from a different perspective. And I've talked about that here on the show where, it's hard because I know how to cook. So I try on a regular basis to step out of my shoes and go, what if I didn't know how to cook? What if, where would my thought process be? And it's hard when that's not your thought process. You can't, it's really, really, really difficult to step in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah.
So when you watch somebody walking around in full scuba gear, you can't help but go, I don't know how to step in your shoes, dude.
No.
I really don't.
And I discovered, by the way, you can actually see when someone comments there now. Yeah. So Nicole says hi.
So it's just funny because I've had a lot of people ask me, are you still doing your show? How many people are at the station? This isn't, NBC. As much as we'd like it to become that.
Oh, sure.
We don't have a production crew of 30 people sitting behind here. It's just us.
It's literally just us. Right. It's Kent and I who are the owners and only approved show hosts. Mm-hmm. No, in fact, we had to throw a sign up. I saw that. A cop walked through. And so I had to throw a sign up that says the studio is closed to the public. No public, no guests, no exceptions. Only people who are essential to our broadcasts, our streaming, which are approved hosts, and the two owners, Kent and I. And Kent and I are in here maybe together once or twice a week at this point.
And that's what's funny is, for the most part, we're
and you're way there. No one can even see me. You're way,
like 12-foot. We're at 12-foot social distancing
at least.
But it's funny because I leave every day. I leave my house every day because I work. I still have an essential store, and it's a mixed blessing. I'm really happy for that because my company's awesome and my crew is awesome, and I'm, to the best of my ability, keeping my crew safe, happy, and employed and paid.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. But other than that, I go to the grocery store and I go home. I lie. I stopped at Home Depot because I need a bug spray because apparently I have a cricket problem, but I live in a swamp, so that's expected.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, this whole, and that's why I call this show the zombie apocalypse, because on one hand, you think that in certain areas, the streets are empty. And then in other spots, you're going, where are all these people going?
Yeah. Well, and that's, like the Walmart parking lot, the Home Depot up here in McHenry.
Right.
The Walmart parking lot, Home Depot parking lot, the Meijer parking lot. They don't really look any different than they did before on any given day of the week.
So now that a lot of the stores, and I actually had someone ask me if we were, how come we're not limiting people? And I said, we are limiting people, but I'm not a Walmart. I don't get 7,000 people a day.
Right.
So I don't really necessarily have to put cones out front. But since they stopped people from just shopping because they're bored, I have noticed a difference. But it's funny because, as somebody who has a specific lifestyle that I have to live, I used to go shopping every single day because I eat primarily fresh food.
Right.
So what do you do when there's a zombie apocalypse and you're not supposed to go out? So I retained it and reduced it. So I only go out maybe once a week unless I have to, outside of my store, outside of my actual job. And that's it. But what do you do when the shelves are empty? That's the big question is everybody's asking. And it's funny to me because again, I had to step out and not, you scroll through these comments on Facebook, and I've gotten really good at just scrolling past because, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in my brain, automatically, when there was no ground beef, went to Sam's Club, still no meat. The whole 20-foot case empty. So what do? Flagged the meat manager down real quick and asked him, "Are you out?" And he says, "No, we're getting more. We get it every single morning. We're out." And this is in the beginning. This is a couple weeks back when everybody went batshit crazy.
Right.
But immediately my brain went, okay, I'm going to head over to Calix, which is for those that aren't in McHenry County. It's a butcher in Crystal Lake. It's the butcher that I prefer to go to. But if Calix didn't have it, immediately I just searched up, Hub Market, Butcher on the Block, Calix, to make sure that what their hours were. And they were fine. I mean, they're busier because of that, but they had meat.
Yeah.
It's a butcher. They're the bloodline straight to any meat product or protein product that you need. So that's my perspective is, the shelves are empty. Where can I get it? Not, oh my God, the world is going to end because the only supermarket that I've ever shopped at in the past 2 years, I always go to Jewel, I always go to Meijer, and now they have no ground beef. Whatever am I going to do? Freaking Google it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, other people have the meats. They just do. It's not only at those two places.
Right. But that's the thing is, even with my store, so you think outside the box. So you shop local stores, the local small, and I know they're few and far between. They've been eaten alive by the big giant Albertsons and whatever and Mariano's of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But there still are all of these little mom and pop grocery stores, and they are fabulous.
Yeah.
And they're doing a pretty good job of staying stocked. So you think outside the box, and you think of the butchers and the markets and the local stores, and even farmers. I got fresh eggs from Kate's Critters. She's right here. And then there's Hidden Marsh Farm is another one. And that's just farms that I happen to know about because I have a connection to those people personally. If you search, like again, if you look on the internet, you will find plenty of them that are licensed to sell. Because the ones that I got, they're not necessarily licensed to sell. They can sell, they're allowed to, but it just can't be to someone who's, a restaurant or whatever. There's special licensing that goes behind selling eggs and meat and milk and all that good stuff.
Mm.
But local farmers can sell locally like they do at a farmer's market. And a lot of the ones at the farmer's market have websites and they're kicking full bore. So you think outside of the box and support a local farm.
Yeah.
Because even in the off season, I guarantee you, like Lake Geneva Country Meats, they have freezers stock full of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just have to think about, and even an office supply store. Nobody thought of us. If you can put it in a break room, an office supply store, not even mine, almost all of the different office supply stores are going to have a break room section that has toilet paper, paper towels, candy, coffee, creamer, first aid kits. It's not ground beef.
No.
But
you can get a couple of the things that you need.
Right. A lot of this, when toilet paper and everything ran out, and a customer of mine recognized me at Sam's Club, was, holy crap, did you see this? And I said, yeah. What do you need? He said, well, it's just me and my wife. I needed toilet paper. I don't need, I don't need to supply the city. So I said, head over to my store. 4 other people just ghosted their shopping carts and followed them, and we sold out in a matter of a few minutes. But nobody thinks of that.
Yeah.
Like everybody just gets this literally this zombie freaking, I'm a sheep, I'm going to follow the herd mentality. Instead of taking 2 seconds to go, what's an alternative option?
Yeah.
What do I do if the shelves are empty? I can't have chicken today, so let's make something else.
Yeah.
It literally boggles my mind. Oh, hi, Stephanie.
It's crazy. It's
Stephanie
nuts.
Burrows.
But, my wife actually made fried chicken last night.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
It was friggin' awesome. But,
so not just for you, it was just for me and mostly my husband because he doesn't get to have bacon often. Since yesterday was my day off, and this is the first 2-day stretch that I've legitimately had a solid 2 days off of my store. And so yesterday was my cooking day. I made soup. I made this. A friend of mine commissioned me to make. She wanted peach. I didn't have enough peaches, so it was blueberry. But it's a cheesecake blueberry cobbler. So it's cheesecake with a cobbler on top. So you have the crust and the cheesecake, and then you have the blueberries, and then the cobbler crusty bits on top.
That sounds great.
And my soup, and I attempted a bread. It didn't quite turn out, but it was my whole cooking day. So I wanted something simple for dinner because, like any restaurant or whatever, when you cook a lot, you don't cook for yourself.
No. So
I texted my husband. I was at the grocery store picking up a couple last things and said, how about BLTs? I don't think we've had a BLT since like 2015 when we've had bacon, but not an actual bacon sandwich.
Yeah.
Since then. So I splurged. I mean, it was low sodium bacon, but
still,
it was still a BLT.
It's still a BLT.
It's absolutely fabulous. I had a BLT for dinner yesterday.
Because we had that, because we had bacon over the weekend we just had a bacon buddy. I can't remember when do we have that. And then just the other day, Monday, I think it was, we had BLTs because we had a little bacon left. But yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Alex asks, are there low sodium options for zombies? Yeah, people like me.
Yeah.
There's 15,000 people in my low sodium group that are prime pickings for zombies if the zombie apocalypse actually happens. If there's any zombies with liver or heart issues where they gotta watch their sodium intake, I think I would be their dinner.
There you go.
And right now I'd probably taste like bacon. So
well, there you go. The zombies are all set. All they got to do is follow you guys on Facebook.
Oh, that's funny. Good morning,
hunt you down.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. But when you think outside the box, it's funny because you start discovering all of these different things that you have in your community. And even though we're not supposed to be going out, it's amazing how much everybody has discovered about their areas. That holy crap, we've got all these restaurants that are just fighting to stay alive right now.
Oh, man.
And you're finding out about all of these I didn't know we had this one, and I didn't know we had that one. And holy crap, we have another butcher, and we have this, and we have that. And you get so stuck in your own world that you don't pay attention to the communities around you.
Oh, and there's so many people. I mean, just some of these restaurants, I feel so bad for those that just opened up too.
Right.
I mean, you have.
I have 3 friends of mine that literally within a week of this had opened or taken over, the doors to a business. And then this happened.
Yeah. It's just, you had the Hidden Pearl Cafe over here in McHenry that had been closed for well over a year doing a move and a remodel. Just had reopened, I think in December or January. And now, bleh.
And then, of course, McHenry, the Way We Like It Cafe just opened. Yep. And then we got Wanda's Bakery. She just took over her shop.
Well, she can stay open because she sells groceries, but you can't sit down or, no one can.
It's still curbside.
Yeah,
you got to get it and go.
Yeah, you got to get it and go, get it and get out. So.
And that's the other thing is a lot of these places, they're doing well, but it's a catch-22 because they have the staff for sit down. So now when they get inundated with all of these takeout orders and they're getting backed up, holy cat, people are freaking brutal. Like the world is coming to a freaking end and you can't wait an extra 10 minutes for your takeout meal that somebody else is cooking for you.
Well, and the other sad thing too is a lot of people who have tried to stay open, but are not necessarily quote unquote on the critical business list. I mean, we're media, we're radio, and
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And there was a story in the Northwest Herald. I talked about this on something else just the other day, where right here in McHenry, 3 retailers got shut down that are pretty big, but they were secret shopped by detectives. Mm-hmm. And the story listed out a couple of the things one of the detectives bought, and it was stuff, like crayons and coloring books and some chalk or whatever
Right.
for kids. And the detective decided that really wasn't an essential
No.
buy. Okay, I understand this to a point. However, how many parents right now are desperately trying to do a little bit of homeschooling? They may have kids in that kindergarten through,
But that's the
fifth,
same
sixth
thing
grade.
that people don't think about my store for.
You're going to need crayons. You're going to need that kind of stuff. So you go where you can get them. You don't think about, hey, I can go over here to an office supply store and get these things.
Right.
Because, well, you know what? I don't know.
I know. I agree, but it's hard because it's like where's that line?
Yeah.
It's a hard line to draw in the sand because you want on one hand for this to get better, and then on the other hand you want people to have their livelihoods and their jobs and the things that make the world tick. So it's a fine line, but that's where I just keep saying you gotta think outside of that box.
You really do.
And even if you are the kind of person that always shops at Walmart or always shops at Meijer or the superstores, a lot of them don't realize that places like Menards have groceries.
Yeah.
So instead of
we've actually gone
right,
literally grocery shopping at Menards because we were by it and had to get some other things in Menards.
Right.
And it's a small section, but they got a small refrigerator freezer section.
Yep.
And they got a handful of aisles. They even have pet food.
But instead of being one of the 8 million people that goes to Walmart, switch it up.
Yeah. And their prices are
right
pretty much comparable to, well, I mean, they're always,
they're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not cheap.
They're not bad at all.
I mean, they are, I consider them cheap. It's certainly not like going to Whole Foods or anything.
Yeah, no.
So,
but it's funny because I, thinking about all this and empty shelves and the questions that people ask me, and so many people ask me for help with food all the time, outside of all of the crap that's going on in the world right now. For years and years, people, because I'm the food person. It's not just low sodium. I love everything food. My new food group for McHenry County Recipe Share, is just for food. It's not low sodium. It's not diet restricted. It's not anything. It's just food.
I've even contributed to that group.
Right. Well, your hot dogs. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I mean, I'm not
hot dogs with ketchup.
I'm not the accomplished cook that you are. Right. So I figured I'd share something that anybody could do. So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is I love everything food. So anytime I can help people with that, it makes me happy. And cooking is my happy place. But trying to think of, how to help people when it's not your norm. It's back to that same perspective. How can I advise you when you've got 2 young boys and you don't like the same foods that I do, other than chocolate? How do you advise someone that suddenly went from being gone all day and out all day to having to be home with their family?
And holy cow, how fast does that food go?
Well,
I mean, my wife and I we're home together, and it's been for quite a while, just the 2 of us, because our
your kids are grown.
Kids are grown. Our daughter, as our youngest, is 21. She's been away at college. Well, now she's home, and now our oldest, he's home working from home now, and they're getting married. We hope still in September. We don't know how that's going to go yet, but. Okay, so now you've got 3 people in the house eating lunch every day.
Right.
We've been going through bread like freaking it's a brand new thing.
Well,
like, holy crap, there's bread.
So everybody, the toilet paper controversy. Originally, and I just like to research. I really do. And the psychology behind things, I absolutely. It's not that I love having, people around me that are depressed or not, whatever. I just, the way other people think fascinates me. And the psychology behind it, the hoarding in the beginning. Yes, it's a hoarding mentality. I want to be stocked because somebody else is doing it. And, regardless of your reason for hoarding, whether you think that you're going to bunker down and have a prepper type mentality, or you think that this idiot over here is going to take it all, so I better at least take one or two for myself.
Right.
That initially, yes. In the beginning, the first week or so, that was the hoarding mentality. But what people don't think about or realize is the buying power has shifted, like you said with bread. Mm-hmm. So the commercial side of everything, 40% of the buying power was commercial toilet paper. Yeah. And now it's shifted, which is recycled paper to make toilet paper, which is why everybody hates commercial grade toilet paper in a public restroom or a restaurant, to the virgin product that is used for the nice fancy Charmin that you use at home. So if you have a 40% shift, like as a business owner, what would you do if just today, literally this morning, you woke up in your business that you've been running for the last 20 years, and all of a sudden this morning you have a 40% increase in whatever you're manufacturing? That's a hard thing to just flip a switch.
Just flip a switch
and say, I'm going to make 40% more pickup trucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your product line is. So it's not that the stores aren't getting them, because now as you go out shopping, you'll see them get it slowly as it goes on. But it's because of that huge amount of influx. Because like you said, if you got a family of 5 people that are now home, that aren't eating, shitting, and living outside of their home base, and normally they're relying on another place to supply those things, supply and demand is significantly different. So it's going to be a bit of a curve, and then it's going to shift back.
Yeah. Because there's now 4 of us, because my middle son still they live in Chicago. He lives with his girlfriend there. And, now he's actually been working from home for several weeks. And she was trying to finish up her master's year, her last year for her master's, but now that's going to be put off, I think, for a year. Who knows how that's going to work out, but because the school closed that she was at, they're not doing some of the classes online. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's 4 of us now living in a house where that hasn't been the case for several years.
Right.
And it's amazing to me how much crap we go through. My wife and I are like, holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. Right. I'm like, hey, where's my, oh, well, he had it for lunch. And I mean, the only upside now is that that was all of March.
Right.
But so it sat in the box. Well, we finally opened the box this last weekend, put it together. And so Monday I did 3/4 of a mile. And then awesome. Tuesday I did a mile. Yesterday I did a mile. I
love everything about that.
So today I will go home and I will do at least a mile. So I'm trying to do my mile every day in the afternoon.
Now I just got to find some vegetables I can get you to eat. Wrap them in bacon or something for you.
If you wrap them in bacon, they might make it near my mouth.
Make it down your gullet?
They might.
Yeah. So Ted says to save money, make bread, make your own bread, make butter, and it's much cheaper. And he's 100% correct. And I posted yesterday that I love Leslie. I wish that's a good friend of mine down in Texas. I wish they were up here. Haven't seen them in forever. Actually, her other half is who married us. They used to own the spot here in McHenry, Terry Munt.
Wow. How about that?
But so Ted's right. Making your own butter and bread and all of that stuff. And I mean, I have a hard time getting most of my friends to cook stuff, let alone take on the task of bread making. And that's something that surprisingly is not as hard as people think it is.
No.
Especially if you splurge and buy yourself a bread maker.
So we do. We have a bread maker at home. And
you follow the recipe in the book, you dump it all in the thing, you hit the button, you close the lid, and
eventually you have
a bread loaf.
Yeah. It's a weird loaf.
Right. Well, you can actually buy the ones now that are loaf horizontal instead of vertical.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ours it makes the vertical. It's a really tall loaf of bread.
Right.
But it's good. It actually is pretty good bread. Right.
And that's the thing. So you can. And I made when I posted the other day, Kim Nordine, who was on here from Joyfully Well.
Yeah.
I sent her a message because I was at the grocery store, and flour in and of itself is in short supply because all of the hoarding people bought 8 mil. We talked about that before, where people bought 60 pounds of stuff they don't even know what to do with. So I wanted rye or pumpernickel so I can make my homemade rye bread. And they had, a wheat bread or wheat flour, which will do in a pinch. It still tastes good. So I shot her a quick message and said, any chance you have rye? She doesn't, but she has wheat and ancient grains. And when you fresh mill it, that's the reason why you need rye flour or pumpernickel, because of the flavor behind it. So when you have fresh milled flour, you're getting the wheat germ and the oils and all of that beautiful flavor from the fresh milled flour. So I personally am lucky enough to have somebody that I can literally shoot a text message to. She lives 2 miles away from my house. She put it in her mailbox. Literally on my way home from the grocery store, whipped through her driveway, turned around, waved through the door, didn't even have to get out, social distancing and all, and just went home and made caraway bread. I screwed it up because I didn't proof my yeast, so the sponge didn't turn out quite right. So it's a really dense loaf, but it's still flavorful. And I made up the recipe. It wasn't like from a book. It was, I'm trying to make a low sodium caraway bread, and it tastes fantastic. I just have to get the rye down. So bread isn't as terrifying as people think it is, nor is it as time consuming as people think it is. Like once you mix everything and you let it set and you go do something else, if you're going to be home, and especially with everybody being home right now, try it out. It's fantastic, especially if you can have salt.
Yeah. Because
homemade bread is
bread is friggin' awesome. And I mean, but I'm well past 50, but both my grandmas, they hardly ever went out and bought a loaf of. I take that back. My dad's mom, my maternal grandmother, at least when I was there, always had a loaf of Wonder Bread, and I friggin' loved it.
The soft, squishy, white.
Yeah, because my mom would not buy that. Yeah, my mom would not buy it, and it made the best toast in the world.
Speaking of horribly bad for you, I made soup today to share with some people who wanted it, and I asked, like everything, I asked my husband to taste it to see how it is, and immediately it was like the best compliment ever. He says it wasn't the soup. It was the cobbler, the blueberry cobbler that I made.
Okay.
He says, this can't be good for you. I about died laughing. I was like, that's the best compliment I've ever gotten. It's like, if it tastes this good, it's got to be bad for you. And he's probably right. It's blueberries with cheese and on top of cheese with sugars and whatever. But it's decadent. And Kent said, and I hate Kent a little bit right now because he says he's having a bologna sandwich with ham, bacon, provolone, mustard, and Miracle Whip.
That's freaking awesome.
Minus the Miracle Whips part, because I don't really eat sugar anymore. So Miracle Whip, that salad dressing is just too cloyingly sweet. So I've switched to mayonnaise.
See, and I always use just real mayo anyway. I prefer that over the Miracle Whip. I know Kent likes the Miracle Whip. He likes it. It's got a little bit more tanginess to it. Yeah. But I prefer just real, regular mayo. That's generally what I go for. But that sounds like an awesome sandwich. I
know, right? It does. And I'm not a big fan of provolone, but it's a lot like Swiss.
I like provolone.
I like aged Swiss. I like that stinky cheese.
You like this? I love provolone on a sandwich. I really do.
Isn't loud enough.
And with the bologna, bacon, what do you have on there?
I said Kent's crying that your mic is not loud enough.
Oh, he's crying that my mic is not loud enough.
I think he's just old and deaf.
He might
provolone, mustard, and ham and bacon. That's like bologna, ham, and bacon. That's bologna, bacon. That's just beef products and different. It's like meat on top of meat on top of meat on top of meat.
Meat on top of now that might be too loud.
Absolutely fabulous.
Because I was not. There was a couple of reasons, but hopefully he can hear that a little bit better now.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and homemade. See again, Ted. This guy's going after my heart. Ted says you can make your own homemade mayonnaise too. Absolutely, it's and just about anything. And it's funny because like the soup that I made that I have today that I'm sharing with some people. I made it this morning before the show. Like I got up, I did some payroll things for my store. I wrote the show. I made soup, and like literally 16 quart tubs of soup. And it's funny to me. So that's why the perspective when people tell me they don't have time to cook. Like, have you tried? Like, have you legitimately tried? Because It may feel like an eternity if cooking is not your thing, but when you actually look at it and say, holy crap, that only took me 15 minutes to do, and now it just sits in a pot.
Yeah.
Or if I have a bread maker and I just throw the stuff in there and it took 5 minutes to do that, and I close the lid and hit the button, everybody, you get this thought in your head that it's going to take 22 hours to make a loaf of bread because you have that nostalgic piece or soup that you know, if you were lucky enough to have a family who cooks that sat on the stove. And it's true, the longer it sits, the better the flavors meld. But the concept's the same. Like when I make a big batch, put it in my little quart tubs, and it sits in the fridge overnight, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be overheat. It just has to let the flavors meld together. So it's just, I don't know. It's funny to me when people say that they don't have the time. So now,
well, and I get that though, because cooking is not my thing, and there are certain things I know how to make and that I will make that I'll do for myself. But even like when my wife got that air fryer, I'm like, holy crap, it's got like 800 buttons on the front of it. This is a complicated thing. It's not. She showed me how to make tots for myself.
Right, and once you put a level of importance on it, because it makes good tots. Suddenly you've learned how to use the machine, and exactly. You make time.
And so now I know how to make my tots, and it's not that big. It takes less than 20 minutes to make some really good tots that are nice and crispy and crunchy, and I just freaking love them. But and even that, some other things she showed me to make over the years. Once you know what you're doing, it's not that involved. But I'm also the kind of guy who just likes food to show up.
And that's even as a cook. So like yesterday, after I cooked all day and I looked at my husband and said, you're the one who always makes the bacon. Somehow, inevitably, anytime I work with grease, I get shot in the face, and it just is not fun. So it's his deal. Yeah, there's someone spraying the hallways with something.
Yeah. Okay.
So he made the bacon. So he essentially made me dinner, and that sandwich tasted 1,000 times better because I sat there and dicked around on my phone while my husband made me a BLT. I did slice the tomatoes. So, I mean, I contributed.
You contributed. Yeah, there you go.
But once you start, and like Kent said here, he goes solely on flavor profiles, and so do I. Once you start cooking even a little bit, you don't have to be a chef and know or have a huge plethora of flavor profiles, but you know your flavor profiles, and you know what you like and what mixes together. And then you can say, okay, instead of beef this time, I'm going to try chicken, or I'm going to try this. And then you go, oh crap, so apparently fish and this doesn't go together, so we're not going to do that again. But you still know your flavor profiles. So it is fun to experiment. And so one thing that with everybody being home, and I said this before, this is a great time to make some great memories with your family around cooking and have a healthy relationship with food. By doing so and learning new things and try making your own mayonnaise. Why? Because you have the time.
Yeah.
You doesn't mean you have to make mayonnaise for the rest of eternity, but why not? Why not make
you could give it a try.
Because when you keep yourself busy, and that's the other thing, like how do you continue on a lifestyle during a zombie apocalypse? This is the number one question everyone asks. How do you stick to a diet when you're not working?
I mean, you just do.
And I get it. It's hard for a lot of people. I mean, I get that. Because the fridge is like,
it's right
stand there like a zombie looking in the fridge going, what should I eat?
Yeah.
Funny thing is, my number one tip is drink water. Because the same thing in your brain that tells you to drink water is the same thing that tells you you're hungry.
Yeah.
And most people don't know the difference. It's really hard. And it was years before I started realizing it myself that I'm not hungry. I'm just thirsty. Because most people don't drink enough.
And to see
and coffee and sugary drinks, even though there's liquid in them and you won't get dehydrated per se, it is not the same in your body.
It's not, because coffee is a diuretic.
Not only that, your body has to process so many other things. So it has to do stuff to get the water out versus just drinking water.
Yeah.
It just absorbs it, sucks it up like a sponge, and is a happy little body. So a lot of times when you think you're hungry and you're bored, just drink water, and it helps.
It does. As we stop to take a sip of coffee.
Right, as I stop to throw unhealthy coffee down my gullet. And actually, coffee is not necessarily unhealthy for you. It's the crap that you put in the coffee. So if you drink black coffee, it's full of antioxidants and good bits.
Coffee's always black, pretty much.
Fat-soluble.
Unless I'm at home, then I will put just some heavy whipping cream in the bottom of a cup.
Kent says tots are a vegetable to Pete.
They are. Well, they're potatoes.
Right?
I count potatoes as a vegetable.
Right?
So they're not yellow, but they still count.
Well, they can be. There's yellow potatoes, purple potatoes, red potatoes, russet potatoes, fingerling potatoes, new potatoes. There's also I'm going to be like Forrest Gump talking about we should do a potato show. Potato soup and potato pancakes, potato mash, potato gratin. What else do you want? You want me to keep going? Because I can keep going.
Go ahead. It's your show. You got 15 minutes.
We'll have a 10-minute sound bit of me doing a Forrest Gump potato bit.
Yeah.
But that's another one that's easy to make. Potato pancakes. Holy crap. I
haven't had those in a long time.
And there's a million different ways to make them, but sweet potato pancakes are also fantastic. So what do you do? How do you stay on a diet? How do you keep your fat ass out of the fridge during a zombie apocalypse? Surprising to most, you're and this goes back down to the serving sizes that you and I have already agreed that we hate so much.
Yeah.
You're supposed to eat a lot throughout the day. So it's actually contradictory to stop yourself from going to the fridge. Mm-hmm. In all reality. It's healthier to eat 3 meals a day that are, 350 to 600 calorie meals, and have 3 snacks a day. So you're supposed to have a meal and a snack and a meal and a snack and a meal and a snack and drink water throughout the entire day. So you're literally supposed to be eating all day. And it's been scientifically proven that is the healthiest way to be and to reduce your body fat and risk of heart disease and stroke and diabetes and your blood sugar, the whole 9 yards. So if you can have, yogurt with honey in the morning and some almonds or something as a snack, and then a salad or, egg salad or something for lunch, and then a snack, and then a dinner, and then a snack. So you can, and instead of having 3 meals, if you split that up to small snacks throughout the day, it's actually a healthier way of eating. So if you're beating yourself up over going to the fridge all the time, just get something healthy. Yeah. Yes, if you're going to the fridge or the pantry for, Girl Scout cookies every hour, that's probably going to add a few pounds.
Girl Scout cookies, Twinkies, Ding Dongs, Ho-Hos, Suzy Q's. Yeah, all that stuff.
Right, but there's alternatives like chocolate-covered almonds.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you can eat more of them than you realize. So when you think, and that's what's funny to me, when you think of a serving size of salsa should be way bigger.
Oh, way.
2 tablespoons of salsa is just wrong. It's just mean, it's torturous, and you shouldn't do those things. You shouldn't say that you can only have 2 servings of these things, or like you can have a slice of cheese. No, I want like 4 on my sandwich. So serving sizes just suck. But when it comes to things that are actually good for you, like a whole apple is surprisingly filling.
Yeah.
And for somebody like you who's less inclined to go eat an apple, dig the core out of it and throw it in your oven and have a baked apple.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, literally, you went from having...
And you don't even have to put anything in it.
Peanut butter.
Or on it.
So, like, if you think of peanut butter and an apple, and if you like peanut butter or Nutella...
I hate Nutella.
I do too, but a lot of people like it.
But peanut butter, I'd never even thought of putting that in a baked apple.
But if you think of peanut butter and apples.
Yeah.
So why not just core out the center, bake it for a half hour, and then take it out, put some peanut butter on it. It's going to melt all over it. You cut it up. It's super soft and mushy like an apple pie.
Huh.
And that's a perfect snack. It's the same caloric content. They're sweet. It's all, it makes a great, fabulous snack. And they're super filling. You would never, and pears, same thing, any of those firmer fruits. So you don't think of those things, but something like that is really filling. Celery and peanut butter, apples are, all of those kinds of snacks that the ones that are pretty common that you think of, vegetables, carrots, fruits, stuff like that you'd give, a 5-year-old running around. Here's a handful of grapes, at least, if you're a decent parent versus, chicken nuggets. I can't stand that. I can't. Someone posted the other day about how their kid is suddenly restricted. They discovered he's got a disease that causes him to have food restrictions. And they said, what do I do? Because he's a super picky eater. And pretty much it came down to the fact that he will eat nothing but chicken nuggets and French fries. Well, he didn't come out of the womb that way. So you're just going to have to find a way to make him eat other things. Because I'm not entirely sure what to say about that. You know what I mean? If you're talking about a 7-year-old, there's a reason the 7-year-old is not feeding himself. If he refuses to eat anything but chicken nuggets and French fries, that's not his.
Well, that's being allowed. It's being permitted.
Right.
When we were little, we rarely went to McDonald's. That was just such a rare thing, and that's not even when it was friggin' expensive. That's back when a burger was 20 cents.
Right.
It was. Whatever my mom made, who we've already talked about, is a horrible cook. Even to this day, she won't even cook for herself. She gets stuff in a box. And, but if it was put in front of us, you were to eat it.
My husband and I were talking about that last night because I said, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you were the same way. And he agreed that growing up, it wasn't so much that my parents didn't make food that we liked. It wasn't even a thought process. It was this is what we have.
Yeah. And
I'm making dinner and you're going to eat it. I don't ever remember having to sit there until my green beans were gone, or it was you eat what you're going to eat. I put it on your plate. You're done when you're done.
Yeah.
Dinner's done. Not like you have to clear your plate. You have to wait until this is done. You can't have any of that. And if you didn't want anything that was there, you just didn't eat.
No.
It wasn't I'll make you hot dogs, or I'll make you macaroni, or I'll make you something else.
Not at all.
And when we got older, it was okay, if you don't want this, then make it yourself.
Yeah.
So, you're not, it was still the same concept. So my husband was the same way. It wasn't you have to sit here until it's gone. You just ate what was put in front of you. There was no conversation about it. So.
Right. And even now, like, when my wife was, she made dinner for she and I the other day, and my daughter didn't want what she was making. She's like, well, then you're on your own for dinner.
Right.
You figure it out. You're an adult. You're an adult. Do it. Go do it. Go figure it out. Our oldest son, who again is home now, he almost always opts for his own. He'll figure out what he's going to make and what he's going to do. He hardly ever.
And there's a lot of times, like with me and my husband, that happens simply because of the fact that, depending on when I get home, if you're not hungry at the same time, what's the point of having, it's not mandatory.
Yeah.
But that's what's funny to me is so many people, the relationship with food, the perspective, it's a hard one to shift. But when you realize that you are literally supposed to eat all day long, you're supposed to snack throughout the day. You look at any ancient tribe, and those tribal peoples, literally every chance they get, they walk by a bush and there's edible berries on it. They're going to eat them. If they can kill something, they're going to kill it and they're going to eat it. And they snack throughout the whole day. And that's what the healthiest way for your body is, because that's how you consume the energy. You
snacking,
consume it,
but
you walk. You consume it,
you walk. You consume, you walk. Yeah.
You should be eating through the whole day.
And I don't.
Right.
We've already talked about that.
I eat the same. I tend to eat
once a day.
I tend to eat a big giant meal at the end of the day.
That's exactly what I do.
It's horrible for you.
And I sit all day. I sit all the time. So now, again, I started walking on the treadmill. So.
And even something as simple as that. And that's why I've said before, you don't have to, go start a gym membership and get a personal trainer. And if you do, great, by all means. I know quite a few of them. They're fantastic. But you don't have to. Something as simple as getting up and about. And it's funny to me. So when I drove over to get flour from my friend Kim, I was like, holy crap, her neighborhood looks like it's something out of a movie. literally like a set of a movie. There's families walking dogs. There's kids playing in their front yard. They're all staying in their separate little zones. And I literally saw people, people bitching about it. Like, oh, the social distancing. Everybody's home. And you're going to tell me they can't get outside and walk their freaking dog? Screw you.
Yeah.
So, and people were being very respectful, walk completely out in the street. Why? Because there's nobody driving around but me. The streets are empty. All the cars are parked. So, of course, there's 8 million cars in the street. But everybody's out and about and doing stuff. And that's the thing is even something as simple. And when I have a couple days off, and I've talked about this, where if I don't move, things start to hurt just because of my nerve issues. So I'll get up and walk around the house. Doesn't mean I go and jog 16 times around the house. I just up and down the stairs, around the hallway, down, go for a walk, do whatever, just to literally get your blood flowing. And even like you, something as simple as walking on a treadmill.
Yeah.
It makes huge strides for the health of your heart. So, something so simple, but that's the same. When so many people keep asking, what do I do about my diet? Because all I want to do is eat all day. Then eat all day.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem watching serving sizes, put things in serving sizes. So I've done this in the past where I'll buy the big bag of chocolate covered almonds, and I have a little freaking $10 scale from Walmart. And I'll put the little tiny snack size bag and put a single serving of chocolate covered almonds in it, so that if I'm going to work, all I got to do is grab a fig bar that's already prepackaged and my little chocolate covered almonds and whatever. And I can grab those little bags and have 10 different little snack bags to bring with me to snack throughout my day at work. Sadly, then I go home and eat a big giant heaping pile of food because, I don't listen to I don't practice what I preach.
Yeah.
I mean, I do in the fact that what I eat is typically healthy.
Yeah. You are a healthy eater.
Servings.
I mean, you have to be. By and large,
right.
You are a healthy eater. And even when you have something that's not necessarily healthy for you, like cookies and ice cream, it's few not. And far between. Yeah, it's few and far between. I mean, I rarely snack during the day. Occasionally I'll remember to bring something for lunch if I'm thinking about it. But I have coffee from about 4:30 in the morning all the way until about 4:30 in the afternoon. That's just what I have coffee.
Right.
That's, I'm hungry. I get some coffee. And
I had to curb my coffee intake. I've gotten a little bit too bad with that. But
yeah.
So yeah, baked pears, hummus. A lot of times I like to keep hard-boiled eggs on hand because I like hard-boiled eggs and I like egg salad.
Ooh, I like eggs. I haven't had egg salad in a while.
So if you want to make egg salad a little bit lower in sodium, instead of mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, use an avocado.
Yeah, I don't like avocados.
See, the funny thing is egg is a stronger flavor than avocado, and when you use certain spices, it's just the fact that avocados are high in fat, and when you mash it, it's the same creamy texture that mayonnaise is, so you can use it as a substitute, and a lot of people do use it.
Doesn't it turn your egg salad green?
It does.
That's
but it's
gross.
Like green eggs and ham. I feel like I'm in a Dr. Seuss book.
I'm not a fan of green food.
You're not a fan of colored food.
I don't like. I'm not.
But guacamole or smoothies. If you get yourself one of those little ninja things where you got smoothies and you can just.
My daughter she makes smoothies quite frequently, and
I wish I made them more than. You want to know the honest to God truth of why I don't make smoothies? I don't want to clean the stupid thing.
Oh, okay. See, she just throws it
on my counter, and I don't want to clean it.
She rinses it and then throws stuff in the dishwasher. So,
yeah,
and it's like one of those little, I don't know. It's like they're small, and even I think she's got one too where you just put the cup on the thing, and you blend it, and then you flip it over.
Yep, I got one.
Or is it on? I don't know. But it's the cup. You don't even pour it out. You just put the lid on, put a straw in, and you go away with it. I had that
one, and it just recently broke, so I have to use the bigger one that I have, which still in itself is not. There's different sizes, so you can the thing that fits on it is all different sizes. But it's just one of those things where it becomes lazy for me, and I don't like cleaning it. But
see, I just don't like smoothies because they're gross.
Because it's not bacon.
Well, they got fruit.
Take a tater tot and bacon smoothie for Pete.
That might be something gross. I'd try.
That sounds so texturally disgusting.
I might try that.
What
would you put in there to make it smooth, though?
Mashed potatoes, maybe. I don't know.
Mashed
That's just-
potatoes and bacon. I might try that. It was a little bit better. A little
I think
better.
we're almost done on the radio station. Right?
Yeah, we got like
so find me on
5 seconds.
My LoSo Lifestyle, my website, mylosolifestyle.com. Please download the app if you can. Spread the word. And since we're still live on Facebook for a couple more seconds, we were talking about it in our recipe group about guacamole. And it's one of those things that's super easy to make. It's avocados, tomato, onions, parsley, garlic, lime juice, pepper, and if you want, balsamic vinegar and some spicy jalapenos. So we were talking about that the other day. So I'll post that recipe later on my page, but it is in the recipe group. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.